So Full Dive has been a show I've been very eager to check out, as soon as I heard that it's from the author who brought us Cautious Hero, I immediately went from about a 5 out of 10 interest to a 10 out of 10 interest. For those who've never seen Cautious Hero, it was a really fresh idea on what it means for a character to be reincarnated to save a world in a very hilarious fashion. And to see a name like Full Dive, the ultimate next-gen RPG, is even shittier than real life. How stupid of a title can you get? Why would anyone want to watch something that absurd? And then you hear about Cautious Hero's author and you're like, oh, okay, wait a second, this could actually be very, very fun. And for the first 15 or so minutes of this episode, while I wasn't bursting out laughing, I was really appreciating the cynical behavior of our main character Hero, where you have someone who's pretty much just fed up with life. I mean, when he walks home from school, there's bullies who take money from him, saying they'll beat up anyone who pisses him off, when really he's saying, the only one who pisses me off is standing right in front of me, but I have to give a smile because I don't want to get my ass beat. The one game that he's looking forward to, he can no longer pay for because, well, he just happened to give a $10,000 bill, yen bill that is, to his bullies here, so he can't afford it, so he has to get a discount game from an old game shop, which just so happens that game is 10 years old. He doesn't want that. He wants the game in his series, which is like the 22nd one, but even he admits that every time he buys a new one, it's really just a cycle. He enjoys them less and less the longer it goes on, and the people at his school are hounding him to make a career choice. He's just a very cynical character without going full-blown edgy. This isn't the type of like emo kid who you think, oh, is gonna end his life or anything like that. No, he's just like fed up and is bored and wants to basically just suck himself away into a world where they have a game system that allows you to fully be in there and feel things and basically interact in the way that most of us gamers wish we could. The difference is there doesn't seem to be pain and other things like that in a game that they generally play. So, where the humor really took off for me though, because I was entertained. I don't expect a show when it's funny to make me laugh out loud, because personally, even my favorite comedy series out there, whether it's television series with live action actors or it's animated characters, they're only going to make me laugh out loud a select handful of times throughout its entire run. But as long as the humor entertains me, I'm going to be excited to watch more. And the dark comedy, the character dynamics and banter was entertaining, even when it wasn't necessarily trying to be funny, but really just trying to help this kid out, and he's just fed up with life. But to see it when they get into this new game, this 10-year-old game, and you're seeing, this typical childhood friend, oh, hey, Hero, you just woke up, let's go pick apples, here's my older brother, your best friend. And he's realizing just how actually amazing this system is, but he's also noticing how shitty the system is. And this is where the name of the show really starts to make a lot of sense, and you appreciate how in your face the ultimate next-gen RPG is even shittier than real life. Obviously not using shittier in the title, we're just gonna say worse. But I love that he can feel pain in this game, where clearly he didn't feel pain in the others. After he hit his head, after he started to realize what this world really was, this is where I knew we were in for a ride, and the Cautious Hero legacy was going to live on in another anime. Now, there's a moment where they're cutting apples, and the sister, or the childhood friend, has a knife, and I was like, oh, what's gonna happen is she's going to be like a yandere, try to kill him for some reason, right? And that was my thought process. He's trying to get all buffed up, and he's like, this is my tutorial, we can't leave the village for some reason, right? And as soon as the tutorial happened, or what he thought was, and he got his ass handed to him, I bursted out laughing, some of the hardest I have in quite some time. It caught me off guard, it was brutal, and I love how unprepared he was. He starts off this game getting hit in the head by a door, being like, why can I feel pain? You're not supposed to feel pain in these games. As soon as you see the knife after that, you're like, oh, he's gonna get stabbed. What I didn't expect was how insane this humor actually is going to be, and how dark of comedy and morbid comedy they might use at times. When I saw him push the brother down, and then you realize the knife's not there, as they creep out for the shot and how brutal the shot is with the knife going through his throat, I was so taken back because you knew damn well that is not how this game was supposed to be played. There was no way in hell this is how that game was supposed to be played. I am a sick bastard. I am a twisted bastard at times. If you give me dark comedy where you have two innocent characters who you're supposed to go pick apples with, and you would eventually make it to the city in a natural way, but you're so gung-ho because you played so many other games like this that you think it's a character's telling you that you can't be there. You have to fight him, and in doing so, when he kicks your ass, you tackle him, not taking into consideration your surroundings, and the sister turns into what you think she was going to be, but just in a different way. To see that scene and how quickly it escalated from your generic cliche waking up, here's your high school friend, oh, we're not supposed to leave the village, but we clearly will. They literally even outlined, like, that's how it was going to be. Like, the little fairy guardian that our boy has here, who he obviously meets in the game store and says, hey, I'll help you out. She, I guess, is going to be a support character. Literally, like, mentions how that's how it was going to be. Oh, are you picking apples or delivering apples in the market with your friend? And she reads his tag saying, best friend killer. And I'm like, okay, this show is going to be a riot. I really feel like the best way to, predict where the show's going to go is it's going to be a lot of cynical humor where a character's just saying, this game's even shittier than real life, my real life shit, this game shit, I have no money to buy new games, I guess this is just what I'm going to deal with. Or maybe he'll get full-blown trapped in the game, who knows, right? But still, just that cynical behavior without going full-blown edgy, where you typically don't see that too often, because usually when you do get a really well-developed or well-done cynical character, the guy's at the end of his ropes, he's probably going to jump off a bridge in the next episode. Here, you really just have a depressed kid who's bored in life and doesn't have much going on, and has to take what he can get. And then you get that ridiculous dark humor where, now he has to walk through a market in a village, having best friend killer as his title until he does something more important. And I feel like this is the type of character who, if he somehow gets a good title, a minute later he's going to get a worse title, and, there's never going to be a happy moment for him. The show definitely has, your typical, isekai / video game fantasy fan service, the sexy character designs, this and that. But it also has just so many interesting little bells and whistles to kind of surround it as well. It actually does feel like a video game world and an RPG like that, or an MMO if you were able to play it in VR. And I really appreciate the idea of how twisted they want to make this show without only ever having, it kind of feels like that sister is probably going to chase him for a long time. And even if she decides not to slit his throat, there's probably going to be some Looney Tunes antics where she's probably going to constantly try to set up traps to kill this man. He literally ran away after killing her brother. That's not how this was supposed to go down, if any was supposed to go down. But it's just so great to see the ridiculous antics, and I think if this is going to be a show that bounces around between reality and this game, like I think it will, it's going to be very interesting to see the behavior, because I feel like this is going to be the type of guy who's going to say, why the hell would I ever want to play this game again? And then real life's going to be absolute shit to him, and he's going to play the game again. And it's going to be a back and forth. When one reality sucks for him, he'll go back to the other, and that one will suck, so we go back to the other. It's a pretty simple premise on paper, but I think seeing it animated, seeing the idea of the, at times kind of like Konosuba, Kaguya-sama reactions of the absurd to just absolute shock to the really crisp character models, even though not a lot technically moved in the episode, the character designs and the overall backdrops were really highly detailed, and that has me quite excited to see, especially in the game world, what the villages and the different sceneries are going to look like, because the wide shots that we did get a little glimpse of in this episode looked really, really pretty, I have to say. And the comedy made me laugh. I was expecting to come up here and say I liked this episode a lot, despite it not making me laugh out loud. The first 3/4 of this episode did exactly that. It was entertaining, I liked the cynical behavior, but it wasn't making me laugh out loud, nor will it make many people laugh out loud if I'm probably predicting. But by the time you get to that tutorial, that's where, for me personally, all bets were off. I was like, this is going to be a show that I'm not going to be able to predict when I'm actually going to burst out loud and have to pause the episode. But when you have a tutorial turn into literally him just getting his ass slammed, I mean, I can't help but just burst out laughing, needing to pause and collect myself. I'm excited for this one. I think it's going to be a very fun show to look forward to. There's a couple of good comedy anime to definitely look forward to. And it's great to see so many high-named authors, whether it's from the Konosuba, ReZero, Cautious Hero, them either getting their other works adapted or having fresh ideas. And it's great to see them, honestly, feel like they belong to their name and not something that felt like, oh, this was a starter series for them. No, this show is absolutely fantastic, and I'm excited for more. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below. What was your personal favorite gag? For me, definitely that punch to the face when you thought you were going to have a tutorial to leave the market. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, show your support, and hit that subscribe button if you happen new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.